800-721-4880. That's 800-721-4880. 800-721-4880. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL, AM, FM, and .com.
A very comfortable start to the morning across the area. We are dealing with low humidity values, so it will be a very comfortable day. And plenty of sunshine in the forecast. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s. Mainly clear skies tonight. Overnight temperatures falling into the upper 60s.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan, will be along with your full weather forecast. Violence in both Orleans and Jefferson Parish last night takes the lives of 3 people. Here's WWL TV's Paul Dudley with the full report.
3 separate homicides. The most recent happened around 1 a.m. in Metairie along the 500 block of North Elm Street near Airline Drive. The Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office says they arrived at this location after reports of gunshots and found a man suffering from at least 1 gunshot wound outside of an apartment. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. A second man was found inside one of the apartments with a minor wound to his face. Deputies are working to identify a suspect and a motive at this time. Meanwhile, in the St. Roch neighborhood of New Orleans, a woman was shot and killed on Franklin Avenue near North Roman Street last night around 11 p.m. After arriving, officers found the victim suffering from multiple gunshot wounds inside of a car. Police say the woman was traveling riverbound on Franklin when another car pulled up and began shooting into her car. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. The NOPD is also investigating a homicide that happened at the intersection of Thalia and South Robertson Streets. Officers say a 17-year-old boy and another man were in a car at this intersection when a group of people in another vehicle started shooting at them. After the shooting, the victims took off in the car and made it a few blocks before one of them died. Police say the surviving victim was not hurt, and the car they were driving was apparently stolen.
A parade in Harahan today. With a report on the fun and festivities, we go to WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta.
It is May, so of course, not Mardi Gras, but a carnival-style parade will roll in Harahan this weekend. It's called the Crew of Kings Salutes America Parade. Beginning tomorrow at 1 p.m., 19 floats will carry 300 riders up and down Jefferson Highway for the patriotic parade. The organizer, who is also a float builder and captain of Metairie's Crew of Kings, says the parade is also a symbol of the area's comeback from COVID. Now, this is the first parade through Harahan in about 30 years. The mayor there says he hopes it'll bring business to bars and restaurants. He also hopes it might become an annual event.
In WWL Sports,
it was a big day in Baton Rouge on Friday as LSU head baseball coach Paul Mainieri announced he would be retiring at the end of the season. Mainieri has been with the Tigers for 15 years now, winning 4 regular season SEC titles, 6 SEC tournament championships, and a national championship in 2009. Tim Zimmer for WWL Sports.
A comfortable start to your morning across the area. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast. A cold front bringing very comfortable conditions. We are expecting low humidity values throughout the day, and daytime highs climbing into the lower 80s. And tonight, mainly clear skies will be with us. Those overnight temperatures are expected to fall into the upper 60s. Your Memorial Day looking fantastic. Temperatures will be much warmer, climbing into the upper 80s. Mostly sunny conditions within the humidity. Values
in and out.
Pretty low in the mid-20s.
Okay.
Cloud cover,
on
some
our end,
overnight temperatures are expected to fall into the
it's choppy for me.
I'm WWL TV meteorologist.
Can you hear me still, Doug?
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News. From WWL News Talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf area. All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us in the Open Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or you connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans. Here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, good morning. That's Sunseri, Albert, Nicaud, you can order all things legal. Give us a call at 260-1870. We'll be on to 10 o'clock. Good morning, Albert.
Hey, Doug, how are you?
Good, good. I think the static, hopefully the static's going away. Boy, what a beautiful Memorial Day morning, man. It's just low humidity, great day to go
Yeah.
outside and
Yeah,
go
it was
outside.
actually cool outside. It was cool
Yeah,
outside when I went out to hang my flag, as a matter of fact.
amen, amen. They have in our neighborhood. We live in a patriotic neighborhood. We've got flags everywhere, everywhere. In fact,
Yeah.
what our neighborhood does is I think we pay like $10 every 4th of July. They'll hang a flag on every house. So, hey,
There
amen.
you go. And some people are confused as to what Memorial Day is. And Memorial Day is, of course, remembering those who actually lost their lives in battle, and not necessarily just supporting people who have served, but those who actually have lost their lives, and we remember them and what the price they paid for our freedom. And so, we as Nicaud and Sunseri, and personally, we want to thank all those families and let them know that your loved ones are in our prayers. In fact, today, if you got anyone out there wants to call in and give a special nod to someone in your family or friends or whatever who lost their lives in battle overseas or wherever they may have taken them, please call in. We'd love to hear from you.
I always say that people call themselves social justice warriors because they post some things on social media. I mean,
Yeah,
the real social justice warriors, the ones who die for it. I mean,
exactly.
they're the real heroes. If you do, put a little post and you advocate for, baby cats or something, that's
Yeah,
nice. Nothing wrong with
yeah,
that. But from a perspective, for a total perspective, the ones who have died. I mean, there's one thing about saying something.
yeah.
There's another thing about putting your mouth where your money is and giving your life for it. And God bless all the family. It's not only the people who died, but there's their families. I mean, a
Of
lot.
course,
World War
of course.
II. A lot of great men left. 3 and 4 kids and a wife and a home and a job, and and they gave their life. And it's
Well, yeah, an
it propelled.
example of what you're saying is a Nike commercial that they had. It was a little, a little ad, and it was a picture of Colin Kaepernick, and it says, when you give your all for what you believe in, and somebody posted below that, a military grave site and said, "Hey, Colin, this is what it really looks like to give your all for what you believe in." And so it was just I thought it was real poignant. And to your point, people want to talk in platitudes about political issues and social issues. And, these guys put their lives on the line, some of them 18, 19, 20 years old. And I tell you, it's thank God for them. Thank God we have them, and God bless them all. I got a text today from somebody, again, about the confusion of what Memorial Day is, right? It says Armed Forces Day is for those still in their uniform. Veterans Day is for those who hung up their uniform. And Memorial Day is for those who never made it out of their uniform. And that's, kind of sums it up. And,
Well,
and I don't know if you saw, I don't know if can you see my shirt, Doug?
I can see it a little bit. It's with the American flag.
And
Got
what's
a
it?
man.
Yeah.
I can't see what it says. What does it say?
It says back-to-back World War champs.
There you go. There you go. It's amazing the big role that New Orleans played in winning World War II as far as the Higgins boats, and and the fact that I think even Hitler said that one of the big factors was the Higgins boats being able to land and on D-Day. Just a very incredible and you go to D-Day Museum. I know there's an exhibit on it, but basically, Higgins was he had invented these flatboats in order to access some of the oil facilities or oil wells or wellheads in the marshes, and they took that concept and refined it on Lake Pontchartrain, and they were able to
land on the beaches.
land on the beaches. And if it was just an incredible. And the D-Day kids, I guess they would be, if they were still around, they would be in their 90s. And there's some still around, very few each year. We lose so many of them, but 80 and 90% of them, when they jumped off that boat, weren't going to make it.
Yeah.
And they knew they were going to jump off and go up those cliffs, and they were going to make it. And some of those kids too were lying about their age so they could go fight.
Right.
So
Right.
it's just God bless. And America does rise to the occasion. It has throughout its history. In times of peace and prosperity, we saw it flounder, and we get offended. Young people get offended by cartoons and Dr. Seuss and other things. But when we do have a crisis, we do rise to the occasion, and we ought to celebrate that.
Right.
And so, God bless everybody and their families, and all the men who had died for us, so that we would have. I tell some people, people died so you can have the right to hate this country or dislike it, or
Right. Or protest it or whatever you want to do. Sure.
Because if you do that in China, you did that in the old Russian Soviet Union, you do that in Venezuela, they're going to throw you off a cliff. They're going to throw you off a building.
So I was talking, Doug, with Lana. Svetlana is her name, in our office. Yeah, she's an attorney in our office, and she does a lot of immigration type of work. Right. And she's from Belarus, and Belarus right now is having all kinds of issues. And she told me, she said, what's happening there is the leader, I don't know if they call him a prime minister or president or whatever it is, but he has basically shut everything down. They said they had a news station. They had a news station about a third of the population would subscribe to and listen to, and they just cut them off. They said, sorry, no free speech. You're saying things against the government. You're done. You go protest. So there was an old flag. It was red, white, and red. And she said people are getting arrested for like a month and put to jail for about a month because they're wearing the old flag and not the newer flag that this guy wants you to wear. And I mean, people are losing their rights. And if you're in the military and you speak against it, you lose your military pension. If you get beat up by the police, you go file a complaint, and even though you have hospital records and videos, they say, oh, sorry, we don't have enough evidence. And so it's happening there, and we've got to be careful because a lot of it is happening here with free speech. And we're starting to lose that free speech. Everyone is getting censored and canceled, and you couldn't even say that the virus started in a Chinese lab. If you put that on any type of social media, you would get suspended. Facebook finally has said, okay, we're not going to suspend people because now there's strong evidence that happened. But there was evidence back then. And so, it's now it's creeping into our society. And people are telling you what you can say and what you can't say. And, it's something we really need to look at. And I think Memorial Day is a day, where people have fought for our right, especially to free speech. And, and we are slowly losing that as social media and big tech starts censoring everything.
College campuses. In fact,
college campuses.
We're in a, and this is interesting. This is starting, and I'm saying this anecdotally. I'm not saying this statistically. But if anybody from the LSU Board of Supervisors is listening, you do well in the next 2 minutes. But I have, we do a lot of estate planning. People who have done very well throughout their life, and they want to charitably look at the institutions that have been a big part of their their life or background and reward them. And it's interesting. I've had a discussion with several people who are in that position who are LSU grads, who were saying they were very disturbed about some of the issues regarding the direction of LSU and the lack of free speech in certain type of, on certain type of issues. And I don't want to get into them all, but I think LSU, now they're our flagship university. I love LSU, and I hate to see this happening, but this is just symptomatic of all colleges that they really do not allow a full expression or free speech.
So I wonder, Doug, what happens? Because I know LSU had Free Speech Alley. I don't know, it was once a week, once a month, whatever it was, and people would stand on the. But I mean, are you shouted down for giving your opinion if you said, "Hey, I'm,"
Well, I think you're always shouted. I think it's more about the administration and about the administration and how it views history, how it wants to rewrite history. A lot of political correctness, a lot of teachers, political science teachers, not allowing both, all views in discussion class about students who really feel one way, but feel like they have to write their essays with a different political bent.
My son told me the exact same thing. He made A's all through college, and he's got one more semester left, and he told me the same thing. He said, "Dad, I had to write as a liberal, or otherwise, with this professor, I would not have gotten an A, because it's so subjective as to what the content is." And, he writes perfectly. The kid's really smart, and, but he's smart enough to see that, hey, unfortunately, I had to compromise who I was or whatever the case may be to make sure I got an A. And that's just not the way it should be. You should encourage all ideas. All ideas, and let there be a spirited debate, and let us see the other side, because you never know, until you know what somebody else's perspective is. Well, and you never,
Because I said, a lot of times a different perspective is being classified as hate speech, or some ism.
Right.
That it's just an idea. And if, a lot of times if you're outside of a community and you have ideas about that community as far as maybe where they're going, maybe doing something incorrectly or could do something better, you're saying, well, you're not qualified to do that. You're canceled because you're not part of that community. And so, and this is part of what, people have died for on Memorial Day, is to have that expression of ideas. Imagine going into a courtroom and a judge saying, you can only argue one side. I'm not going to listen to the argument to the other side because I feel uncomfortable with it, or I disagree with it, or, that's part of what makes law, is the ability to debate, have all points of view, to listen to the other side. And, people's politics are based on their life experience. And, a lot of people have a lot of different life experiences from a lot of different, situations. And so to discount that on all sides is and we've done it on all sides throughout, American history. But again, I think we've always been at our best when we've had an open expression of ideas, an open discussion of ideas, and listen to it, even though it might sting a little bit and it might be uncomfortable. It's okay. It's not going to kill you. And I think we're in a place where if you're not in the fashionable, or your ideas are not culturally on the cultural whim of that particular moment, then you could be canceled, or you're branded in some way as being a bad person or morally inferior. And so just remember this weekend, I think a lot of these, the soldiers gave their life. They didn't post something on social media and get a bunch of likes. They gave blood and they died for us to be able to have this freedom of expression, and we should use it. So there
absolutely.
You go.
And be allowed to use it.
That's right. So there you go. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend warriors. All things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Stay connected to your favorite stations and discover your next favorite on the Odyssey app.
Okay, I have a caller on for you. His name is Larry from Algiers, and he has a question about a building contract.
Performances, breaking news, and more.
And follow local stations to keep up with what's happening near you.
No matter where you are, the Odyssey app.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
All
Okay,
the
who's that?
We got it.
Larry
Was he
from
here?
Algiers, and he has a contract with a roofer for his church, and he needs some legal advice.
Can make them come alive.
All right.
And only those with a true passion for diamonds can lead you to something you'll love. Oakwood Heart doesn't move jewelry. We move people. With handcrafted, ethically sourced, high-quality diamond engagement rings at a smart price. Uniquely styled rings that capture your love. After all, that's what's real. That's what's truly beautiful. Oakwood Heart has been creating fine jewelry since 1927. We ask you to look beyond the shine. Shop smart. Choose from our vast collection or let our master craftsmen design and create a one-of-a-kind engagement ring made just for you. Shop online and around town. The more you know, the better we look. Breathtaking diamonds, stunning styles, always at the best possible prices. Oakwood Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road. Beautiful in more ways than one.
If you're building a new home or buying a new home from a builder, you need to be aware of Louisiana's New Home Warranty Act. It sets forth strict deadlines to make claims against the builder for defects in construction. If you don't provide the builder with proper notice, you can lose your right to make a claim. This is Albert Nicaud with the Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm in Metairie. Call me at 504-837-1304 as soon as you discover a defect. Better yet, call me before you sign your construction contract and let me make sure you're protected.
At Community Coffee, we've been making great tasting coffee for over 100 years.
Volume's
But what
okay?
makes us different isn't just how long.
Yeah, I'm good. I can hear you fine. You can hear.
Yeah. Doug, we're okay on volume?
We select only the
Yeah,
finest beans
sound
good.
okay.
and
Okay,
use
good.
over 4 generations of family roasting experience to give you the richest, most delicious coffee around. Find Community Coffee at your local grocery store or visit communitycoffee.com to order some today.
Odyssey is currently accepting applications for all of our local radio stations, including WWL. We also invite college students to apply for internships at our stations. If you're interested in a career in radio or an internship, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers or call 504-526-3000. Odyssey is dedicated to providing a broad outreach regarding job vacancies at our stations. Organizations that wish to receive our job postings are invited to contact us at 504-526-3000. Odyssey is an equal opportunity employer.
If you're cheering on the black and gold or dancing with rock stars, NOLA Protection security guards are there. For all types of events in New Orleans, I recommend the professionals at NOLA Protection. For fairs and festivals and all special events, there's no better protection. NOLAprotection.com.
My name's Aeneas Williams. I have people that count on me. That's why I'm getting the COVID vaccine. Get the vaccine for people who count on you.
Please visit the Centers for Disease Control website at cdc.gov for information on the COVID-19 vaccination and other safety information.
If you were lied to in buying a timeshare and want out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told in a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oakwood Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers on this beautiful Memorial Day. And we got a caller. We got Larry. Larry's got a question. Larry from Algiers got a question regarding a contract for a roof with a church. And you got Albert here for us, who is the guru on roofs and construction. So, Larry, you on All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Okay, thank you very much for taking my call. I'm a first-time listener, but I'm a pastor of a local church here in New Orleans, and we paid a contractor over $9,000 for a down payment on replacing a flat roof on our church, and this has been back in March. And to date, we have gotten nothing but runarounds and promises. I'm blaming it on the weather, but this past week we've had all clear weather, and there have been previous days where that's been good weather. And I'm wondering at this point, what are our recourse?
Well, so there are a couple of things you can do. As a lawyer, we can't do this, but you can do this. As a lawyer, I cannot threaten criminal prosecution to gain an advantage in a civil case, right? This is a civil case, but there's also criminal elements of this. So if you've been paid money and you haven't done work for more than 45 days, then you can be found guilty of criminal contractor fraud. And so, are you in Orleans Parish?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because you may want to make the first call to save your church a few dollars and having to hire a lawyer, but make your first call to the district attorney contractor fraud division in Orleans Parish, and maybe go over there and try to visit with somebody and file a complaint against this guy. And they will call him and they will investigate and say, hey, look, you either give the $9,000 back or do the roof immediately. And they will put the pressure on him to get it right. So, at this point, that would be my initial suggestion. If not, you can make a demand. Do you have a written contract with him?
We had a contract to the extent of what they were going to do and how much would be required to pay down.
Yeah, so it's a scope of work in a quote, basically. Right. Okay. Yeah. So he's in breach of contract. I mean, if he gave you a quote, you paid him money in accordance with that quote, and he's refused to show up, then he's in breach of contract from a civil perspective. From a criminal perspective, again, it's revised statute 14202.1, and basically it is a criminal statute that here's the other thing you should do. Get the name of this contractor, get the letterhead, and look it up. You can go to the Louisiana State Board for Contractors website. And then it says search for a contractor. Click on that tab and type in the man's personal name or type in the name of the business. And if it doesn't show up on there, then he's also trying to install your roof without a license, which again is a crime. So those are the things that you can have a little leverage with without spending a bunch of money. And maybe you can call him and say, look, I want my money back. You're not a licensed contractor. I'm going to report you to the state if you don't give me my money back. Because if he's not licensed, you certainly don't want to give him your roof.
We did call the Better Business Bureau before we contracted with him, and they gave him a good rating.
Yeah, but that's not the state board for contractors. The licensing board is, they may give a good rating to a business, but they're not going to go check to make sure that this person's licensed with the state. So that's something you should probably do. That's something everyone should do before they hire any contractor. And in fact, I've been hearing some commercials on different radio stations advising people to do that, because you want to make sure that they are licensed, they have workers' compensation insurance. Because if they don't and somebody falls off that roof, they can come after the church and file suit against the church for their injuries if the contractor's not covered by workers' comp. So there are a lot of legal ramifications of not being licensed. So you need to just go double check that with the state contracting board, state licensing board for contractors is what it is. This is the site, and there's a tab that says find a contractor and you click on it and see if the individual is licensed or if the roofing company is licensed. And if neither one is licensed, demand your money back and, demand to advise him that you will be contacting the district attorney's office for contractor fraud.
Okay.
All right. Good talk. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Chris. Chris got a question. Hey, Chris, you know all things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Hey, good morning. I appreciate y'all doing this public service. Listen, I live in Albany. I've been out here for about 18 years. My next door neighbor, my next door neighbor, these are all single dwelling homes, and he had two daughters. The first daughter moved a trailer in on the property, and they built a pad for it, which changed the drainage. Well, that marriage fell through. The trailer was repossessed. Then the second daughter got married. This time they moved a double-wide trailer in and built another soil pad about 16 inches above grade. And unfortunately, my house is very low. I can't just put fill in because I would cause the water to go under the house. There's no way I can put any more fill in to compensate for this. He has drastically changed the drainage. 1 inch of rain in my house and my yard is a lake. I know there's laws to protect me against people changing the hydraulics of a residential area. What can I do?
Well, I mean, the first thing you want to do is advise your neighbor, be a good neighbor and say, look, this is what's happened. And you are, you've caused water in your runoff by changing the landscape. And of course, if it occurs naturally, then there's nothing you can do. But if someone builds a structure on their property, which causes their runoff to run off into your property, then they're liable for any damages. And you could probably be successful with some sort of injunction requiring them to either remove that structure or construct a chain wall between the properties where the water will hit the chain wall and drain towards the front of their property before it rolled onto yours. So, you again, be neighborly, start with a nice conversation. And, the fact is they spent a good bit of money on this, and they might have to spend a good bit of money depending on how big this lot is in Albany. They might have to spend a good bit of money to put a chain wall up and divert the water. Even if they dug a ditch, between the properties, something to keep the water from coming onto yours.
We talked about the ditch, and he said he'd share the cost. I'm not into that at all. I really don't want a chain wall. I wanted to find out legally with getting an attorney, is it worth the cost? And I mean, I've got damage to the house. Some of the water's gone under there. I'm replacing floor, and plywood just jumped up to $80 a sheet. So now, I'm between a rock and a hard place. I don't think this plywood's going to go down anytime soon. I'm a do-it-yourself. I can fix it, but it's just going to rot again.
Yeah, and so if you obviously, so is the grade level below your home lower than surrounding your home, immediately surrounding your home? You're up on piers, right?
It was not. It was all kind of, well, I guess it was in one corner, it's a little lower. I installed a sump and an automatic pump, so if water did get under the house, it was pumped out immediately. And I got that discharging about 100 feet from the house. Right now, 1 inch of rain and the water gets about 10 feet from the house. But with this new development, we've had a couple of heavy rains where the water is actually going under the house. And that was complicated by the parish coming in and putting in asphalt where we once had a gravel road, and they raised the grade there too. So now my drainage to the front ditch is it cheaper for me to just go ahead, and dig the ditch myself or to get an attorney?
Well, I mean, you get an estimate to dig the ditch, right? How much is the ditch going to be? Or y'all can split it if he's agreed to split it. But yeah, how much is it going to be? And I can tell you, if you got to get into litigation's not cheap. And that's why we just advised the last caller, here's some other avenues to try to stay away from having to litigate the case. You start paying a few $100s an hour to a lawyer, and then you file a lawsuit. It's a court costs alone are $500. So it's not an inexpensive process, and we do our best to try to keep people out of the courtroom and trying to resolve and work things out and letting them know what their legal rights are.
Now, one option you do have is if your damages are less than $5,000, your remediation, you could go to Justice of Peace and present that. Whereas Justice of Peace is sort of like the People's Court in your little district, where you can file your own claim and sort of explain, and present your case yourself. You don't need a lawyer, and you fill out the documentation and you serve it on your neighbor, and you'll have a court date saying, "Hey, I incurred $3,000, $4,000 in remediation in order to deal with this issue." That would be one way to go into litigation without hiring a lawyer if your damages or if you're seeking less than $5,000.
I understand. Y'all have been very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
yes, sir. Good luck to you. And if you need us, give us a holler. You can call us at our law firm too at 504-837-1304 if you have any further questions.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call. Let's go to break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
It's true. Nothing can ever be cleaned. Guys, I just did these dishes like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, I have Bonnie on the phone from Covington, and she has some
it's just one of the
people
cycles
from
of modern life.
MIA names.
News and opinion.
Oh, good. Good. Bobby.
What's really happening? We'll explain more of that, and then you get
Bonnie.
Hear about it. Talk about it on the News Talk Sports Leader. WWL.
Hi, it's Jan from Toyota. Summer's finally here, and with a great deal on a new Camry, RAV4, Highlander, Tacoma, and more, you can celebrate all of your favorite summer holidays, like Memorial Day.
Shopping commercial.
It is.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
I don't know how to fix this.
Independence Day.
Yeah,
what I'm going to do is during the news break try to see what I can do.
Great, Jan.
Thanks, Dad. Love you. International Pizza Party Day. Pepperoni, please. And by pepper.
But I really don't think I can do anything.
Yeah, I would just let you know.
Between ourselves.
I know you
I
can't.
have relatives in Boston.
Well,
I'll take another slice of pepperoni, please. But hold the pepperoni and let's go ahead and add ham and pineapple. Thanks.
Toyota, let's go places. Get $750 customer cash, or qualified lessees can lease a 2021 Highlander L for $309 a month for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. Visit buyatoyota.com for details. Offers available in select states and N6121.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. Pests in Louisiana are as unique as our state, and you need experience to keep the pests away. Termites are responsible for more than $1 billion of damage in Louisiana alone. J&J Exterminating has over 55 years experience in keeping your home safe. Trust J&J Exterminating to shield your home, business, and property 365 days a year with 100% satisfaction guarantee.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
Rouse's Markets is hiring. Rouse's has full-time, part-time, and flexible schedules, so you can go to school or take care of your family. Your career can be anything you want at Rouse's. Apply in-store or online at www.rouses.com.
Half off initial lab panel, now $99. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. When planning your summer vacation, pick a destination close to where you live to limit your use of fuel. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. All things legal on this beautiful Memorial Day. And we have Bonnie on the phone. She wants to talk about MIAs from Vietnam. Hey, Bonnie, you on All Things Legal.
Good morning and happy Memorial Day weekend. I knew a Billy Finn. He was a kid who rode a helicopter, hanging out the helicopter with a machine gun, pop, 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 picking up wounded, and the helicopter went down. As of today, he is MIA.
Wow.
And I also knew a Kenny Flashner. Kenny was over there. I don't know if Kenny came home or not, but he did die in uniform during Vietnam. And that's many, many years ago, but I thank them. I thank the parents. And it's still hard to talk about it, but
Yeah.
they did it.
Well, you know,
we as a country came together and we did it. We did it. My dad was in the Seabees, and he was in Okinawa and Tinian, and he laid the communication lines on those islands. Now he came home. That's why I'm here. We were blessed.
now let me ask you: is there anything that your dad told you about the war that stays with you today? You know, one of his experiences.
Crickets.
Really? Okay, tell us.
That's what my daddy told me. Crickets.
Really?
Nothing. Not a word. I found a box under his bed after he died, and I have no one to talk to it about. He's dead.
Yeah.
But my daddy never said a word.
So the box contained memorabilia or letters or?
Memorabilia. My dad had been with the South Central Bell.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went in, he was communications, and my dad came up with some sort of an idea. Wrote to somebody, said, let's try this. When my daddy actually got a letter accommodating him for his idea. They used it. But I found it after he went to bed, so
wow.
There was no way to even share it or discuss it with anyone. But that's how it was back then. That was World War II.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a book. There's a book that they sell it at the D-Day Museum or the World War II Museum now. It's called So Now You Know. And, you know, this was the whole Saving Private Ryan thing was kind of the genesis for that idea. And Tom Hanks and Spielberg got together and started this World War II museum, which, and so there was a blog. Yeah, there was a blog after the movie came out, and people would just tell stories about, you know, people they lost or people that came back from the war and how silent they were and how they wouldn't, you know, they wouldn't talk about anything. And it was just, it was an excellent read, a very small book, and it was all these little individual, 2-paragraph blogs about people in the war and people and what happened. And one guy said, my uncle, my uncle was just a drunk. He would come to parties and he'd be drunk, and back then that's just what we thought. He was a drunk. And then after seeing this movie Saving Private Ryan, he says, I now have a new perspective, because he landed on the beaches in Normandy. And so he saw that carnage and whatever, and that's how he dealt with it. And unfortunately, there was not a lot of help from a psychological standpoint back in those days. And you either manned up and didn't say a word about it and took it to your grave, or it kind of expressed it differently in the form of alcoholism or whatever else, whatever other things, you may have done. And it's an interest call. So now, it's an excellent little book, and it gives you a great perspective on all that.
I absolutely love World War II Museum. I can't get enough personally. I'm 78, but I can't get enough personally. But my dad came back a changed man, no doubt. My dad became an alcoholic, but he only drank beer at night. So he didn't consider himself an alcoholic. He only had beer. But he functioned. He went to work every day, but every day. But my dad was a funny drunk, kind of put the lampshade. He wasn't mean. Uncle Eddie,
right?
Uncle Eddie, his brother, was a painter. Like a foreman. And my Uncle Eddie, his family, his children actually gave memorabilia to the World War II Museum for the Higgins display, and very proud of that. I'm very proud of my family during that period. I'm proud of my family today, believe me. I am so proud of my kids, my grandkids, my great-grandbabies today. And I just put it in the hands of the Lord that it works out.
Well,
all right, guys. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you for the call, and bless those who serve that you're calling about.
And if anybody else wants to call in remembrance of someone who died, please call.
Let's get it out there, everybody.
That's right. There you go, Bonnie.
Thanks for the call, Bonnie.
Thanks for the call, Bonnie. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend alert. All things legal. We'll be right back after this great time out.
You know those 30 under 30 lists that make you feel kind of...
Okay, I have two callers holding on. Both with it's drainage day today. Dustin from Nicaud and Sylvia from Metairie.
I am 83 years
old. 101 years old.
I'm Max
How much are we going to have
this
when
is
we get
Spin
back?
Your 70s, a new show from Pineapple 3 Studios about how we
will have about 5 minutes, maybe just a shade over
wherever you get your podcasts.
At Mike Brown Injury Attorney, we know that car wrecks don't take the weekends off, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck over the weekend, don't wait until Monday to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait until Monday to call an attorney. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need right now. Get by.
I'm former NBA player Don Chaney. For years, I had carpal tunnel syndrome and joint pain. Then I started having heart-related symptoms like fatigue and palpitations. Turns out I had heart failure caused by hereditary transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare, life-threatening disease underdiagnosed in African Americans. If you're African American and over 50 with heart failure experiencing unresolved symptoms, talk to your doctor or visit DonKnowsHisHeart.com.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Hi, this is former Sheriff Noel Norman. Getting your vehicle back on the road after an accident can be a pain, but the Ray Brandt Collision Centers make it easy with 6 convenient locations and a lifetime repair warranty. Most new vehicles are equipped with technology like radar, sonar, and more, so use a manufacturer-certified collision center. Tell the insurance company what I would. I'm going to Ray Brandt Collision for repair. Brave Ranch Collision Centers with 6 convenient locations and a lifetime repair warranty.
The thing about the Home and Auto Bundle from Progressive is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about the Home and Auto Bundle from Progressive. We don't even need the words the Home and Auto Bundle anymore to tell you that you could save big with a ring-tailed lemur from Progressive, or that every hot peach cobbler comes with round-the-clock service and protection. And that's the thing about the goat with magic powers. You've heard a lot of ads about the sushi in Vancouver. See how much you could save with the Home and Auto with the shaman in the jungle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other future responses that are not available in all states and situations.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
All things legal on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Art Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. Let's go to Dustin from Quetico, which is God's country. Hey, Dustin, you know all things legal.
Hey.
What's
How's
happening?
it going? I've got a legal question. I recently bought a house in the area. We're near Nicaud Creek.
Yes.
And I've been contacting Tangipahoa Parish about the drainage on our road. I'm in one of the houses that's about 5-6 years old, newer development on the street. But on the older side of the street, the ditching was never redug to accommodate all of this development. Well, the neighbor across the street has filled in their ditch with concrete and bricks and dirt so that the water doesn't even drain to their property at all. It actually diverts from the west side of the street to my side of the street, fill up my yard. On top of that, the lot next to me is a protected wetlands lot. So it's a two-part question here. Can I regrade my yard to keep the water out and force that water into the protected wetlands lot without legal without legal trouble? Or is there a way to get the parish to redig the other side of the street to accommodate the water? It's about 3 foot deep, the ditching on the east side. It's maybe a foot deep on the west side.
Well, yeah, two-part question. Let me answer the second part first. Are you close with any parish council people or city council people? I don't know if you're governed by a city council or parish council, but that's kind of the things that they handle. And I think if you can get the ear of them or maybe their assistant to take a ride or send photos and say, hey, look, this is what happens every time it rains. What can we do about getting something done? And maybe that person can contact the Department of Streets or whatever sub-entity is in charge of that over there and see if they can get that done and see if that solves your problem. Again, there's a legal aspect and just a practical aspect to the first question about the wetlands. And I don't know for sure, but my guess is that the Fed probably doesn't want runoff pouring into the wetlands, although typically wetlands are low and they get it anyway. But the fact is, I think if you regraded your property, no one would be keeping track of those wetlands and seeing that water was running off into it. I don't see how anybody would ever figure that out. But that's a risk you take. But again, I don't know the answer as to whether or not that's even possible. But I can tell you it's expected because it is a wetland. So by its nature, it's going to be lower. The ground's going to be lower. The ground's going to be wet. It's going to be filled with wildlife. And yeah. So I think you might have some success doing both things. But I would start with your council person before you even got involved with the neighbor to see if if they would be interested in helping you in getting someone over there to dig that ditch.
And dealing with your council person, persistence is the key.
Yeah.
A lot of times you just, a lot of times you're just going to have to get after it, and a lot of times they'll deal with you just to sort of get you out their hair. So just be very persistent and be thoughtful, and make friends with, if they have an administrative aide, make friends with him or her, and they would be they would be an ally for you. But that's probably pragmatic.
Yeah, so far I've gone with that approach, and I've contacted the parish. They've come out to clean the ditches, and they've done the vacuuming for the cross drain culverts, but it hasn't really fixed the problem yet. So trying to
Yeah, but if you just go a little higher up. Don't just call that department. Call a council person, whoever's in charge of that district, and say, hey, look, this is what I need done. I'm going to flood, and I don't want to flood, but this is causing this, and they may be able to assist you in get that person that's handling that department to take a second look.
Yeah, just be persistent with that council person who represents your district. All right, thanks for the call, Dustin. All right, that's hour number 1 in the can. We'll be on till 10 o'clock today, on 10 this morning on the Memorial Day. So we're going to national news, we're going to local news, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes on all things legal, so stay tuned. See you in about 10.
News, talk, and sports that hit home. 870 AM WWL New Orleans, 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Lisa Mateo. Paying tribute. President Biden visited the gravesite of his son, Beau, who served in the U.S. Army. Mr. Biden is scheduled to speak later this hour during a Memorial Day service.
Okay, is this a little bit better?
Happening now, the Memorial Day
Much better.
Flowers Foundation is placing 50,000 flowers
Can you hear me?
in Arlington National Cemetery. In San Diego, dozens of volunteers are helping a World War II veteran rebuild his home. Maria is a relative of 95-year-old Alfred Guerra.
It's overwhelming. It is. It's breathtaking. It's very overwhelming because, we planned to do this in phases. We didn't plan on doing this, all at one time. And I'm thinking, wow, that is something that me and my family probably would have never been able to do.
He lit up the small screen in the 70s and 80s.
He was not born with it, but took the name Gavin MacLeod, and with it had years of bit parts in both drama and comedy. Then he hit it big in a supporting role in the Mary Tyler Moore Show, a wisecracking news writer, Murray.
Look, what are we running here? A newsroom or a telegraph office? I mean, a guy buys a station, and right away he acts like he owns it. You gotta get it right with this.
And then for a decade he was the captain of TV's Love Boat.
It must be rewarding to see me reduced to a quivering hulk. Not at all, sir. Oh, please, I know. The crew is enjoying this.
Gavin MacLeod was 90 years old. Tom Foti, CBS News.
In the music world, Grammy Award-winning singer B.J. Thomas lost his battle with lung cancer. He was 78. Police in Miami-Dade are investigating a mass shooting that took place outside of a concert. WFOR-TV's Ted Scouten is there.
Happened around 12:30 this morning when police say an event was going on at one of the businesses here. An SUV pulled up. 3 men got out and began indiscriminately shooting into the crowd. Police tell us more than 20 people were hit. 2 were dead on the scene.
More than a dozen homes burned to the ground after a wildfire tears through an Arizona neighborhood. KPHO-TV's Emma Lockhart spoke with Jennifer Murphy, who made it out alive.
Murphy was napping when the fire sparked up. A phone call from her husband likely saved her.
If Pat hadn't called and woke me up, I don't want to think about that.
Murphy says within minutes, the fire jumped up the hill to her home. She got out with her 2 dogs just in time.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has tied the knot with his fiancée, Carrie Simmons, at Westminster Cathedral in London. This man attended Sunday's service at the church.
Him getting married is good for him. It settles him down. He's got someone to go home to every day. Might also be good for his temperament.
This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today. It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL AMFMN.com.
Not a bad start to the morning across the area. We will be dealing with low humidity values, so it will be rather comfortable today. Temperatures climbing into the lower 80s this afternoon. Abundant sunshine in the forecast. Mainly clear skies tonight. Overnight temperatures expected to fall into the upper 60s.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist, Michelle Morgan. 3 murders took place in Orleans and Jefferson Parish Saturday into Sunday. The first happened around 1 o'clock in the afternoon off Thalia and
Okay, I have 2 holding. Sylvia from Metairie, drainage problem. Leon, I believe it's a drainage problem. And Leon from the North Shore, who has a family problem with a son in jail.
Apartment on Elm Street near Airline Highway. 1 man died at the scene, another sustained a wound to the face. No suspects have been identified in any of the cases. If you have any information, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers. And the violence continued. WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta has the details about a shooting.
New Orleans police are investigating a shooting in the Desire neighborhood. Officials tell us 1 person was shot around 5:30 at the intersection of Pleasure and Piety Streets. The person was taken to the hospital in a private vehicle, but we don't know their condition. If you have any information on this shooting that could help investigators, call Crime Stop.
In other news, the state legislature has sent a $38 billion spending plan to Governor Edwards' desk, a record amount buoyed by federal coronavirus aid.
Senate President Paige Cortez says thanks to federal assistance, they were able to craft a budget that has members of both chambers feeling pretty good.
We agreed that given that we were going to be able to accomplish a lot, we didn't need to argue about the little things.
That includes major one-time expenses like replenishing the unemployment trust fund, paying down debt, and pumping $500 million into infrastructure projects. But there's also tens of millions of new reoccurring costs, like an $800 teacher pay raise.
One of the groups of people that were most affected, other than the frontline healthcare workers, were school teachers.
In the State Capitol Bureau, Matt Doyle, WWL First News.
In WWL Sports,
another chapter in the historic program of LSU baseball is about to be written. LSU head coach Paul Maneri announced on Friday that he would be retiring from the program after 15 seasons with the Tigers. Maneri, who's the second winningest coach in LSU's history, said the program itself, it'll be in good hands for the upcoming future.
LSU is LSU, and the leadership of the athletic department is the best there is, and they're going to go out and find the very best baseball coach in the country to come to LSU. I have no doubt about that. So they should not be alarmed at all that Paul Maneri is leaving, because they're going to find a great baseball coach, and they should be very confident in that fact.
Coach Maneri plans on finishing out the postseason if the Tigers get a regional bid on Monday. Maneri is one of 5 head coaches to win 1,500 games and a national championship. Tim Zimmer, WWL Sports.
Now the full weather forecast. from your local weather expert, WWL-TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
Not a bad start to the morning across the area. Daytime highs are expected to climb into the lower 80s. Mostly sunny skies will be with us, and finally a break from the humidity, so it will be quite comfortable today. We'll have those winds out of the north between 5 to 10. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Those overnight temperatures are expected to fall into the upper 60s. Monday looking fantastic. We are looking at much warmer temperatures. Daytime highs expected to climb into the upper 80s under mostly sunny skies. From your Weather Expert Forecast Center, I'm WWL-TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news talk sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Here we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal, for hour number 2. So we'll be on till 10 o'clock. And let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to, who do we have? We have
Sylvia.
Sylvia's got a drainage problem. Today is drainage day. Hey, Sylvia, you and All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Good morning. No, it's not a drainage problem. I'm sorry if they misunderstood. It's about an insurance problem.
Okay.
I'm 85 years old, so that may be the reason.
Oh, you sound great. You sound great.
Yeah, well, it's about a life insurance. My husband of 64 years died April the 5th of this year at 90 years old. And
Sorry to hear that.
I had all his insurance papers in one folder. And when I contacted this company, he's been having it since 1969. And I think he got it while he was at work at a place in New Orleans. But anyway, the last I had many correspondence from this company. It was many companies that names were changed through the years. There's about 4 or 5 different companies that were named that had assumed the policy. Well, the latest one I got was in 1995, and it said, "We are pleased to inform you that your above-mentioned contract has been a fully paid-up policy. Your policy provides a death benefit," and then they tell you what the death benefit is. Well, when I called the company, they said that it was no longer in existence and that it was taken over by another company. So they said they would send me information as to what I had to send them. I knew they would need a death certificate. Well, when they finally sent something, it said that they had no record of his name or his policy. And yet I have all this correspondence through the years from different companies, and this was the latest one that I had on file. So what recourse do I have, if any?
Well, I think your recourse is you're the beneficiary, I'm assuming. Your recourse would be track. I would assume that this company that bought out the other company assumes all these policies. So
yes, well, in fact, I have correspondence from this company.
I would say your recourse.
Now they're in a different location from which the original company was, but it's the same name. And my son sent all these papers that we have. He faxed all these papers to them, and yet yesterday I got something else in the mail the second time informing me that they have no record. They say, after reviewing our records, we are unable to locate coverage under the above name or policy number.
Okay. Well, what I would do is this, I think you're going to have to engage an attorney. And the attorney could track the company that's responsible or assume this policy. Now, there's also laws for life insurance policies that if you give a demand to them and they don't pay, they would be subject to a penalty. I think it's 7 or 8%. And so
Is that right? Yeah.
so they do have incentive
Well,
to do
my next course of action was to contact Jim Donelon. I think he's head of the insurance in Louisiana, to see what he would recommend. But when I heard y'all this morning, I listen to y'all every Sunday morning, and I said, well, maybe I will call them. Maybe they can give me a little bit of advice as to which way I should go.
I would say this, Jim Donelon does a great job. What they would do is they send an inquiry, and sometimes when he sends an inquiry, they sort of move. They may or may not. It doesn't hurt. I would maybe do both, but
it's not. Let me tell you how much money is involved. It's $2,669,000.
So the death benefits.
$2,669.
Yeah, I think it would.
I mean, if I get an attorney, it may cost me more than that. So.
Right.
I was just trying to find out. I mean, I could use the money right now. It's not a lot of money, but it is some money that we paid for through the years, because I have it going all the way back to 1969.
Jim Donelon would be a very good start. He would be a very good start.
Okay, well, I think that's what I'm going to do.
Also,
Would you have, I guess I can find his number in the phone book, huh?
Here, let me. While we're talking, here's
do you have
another
any
thing.
idea how I would contact him? I'm not too good on the computer.
Let me see. I do have his number in my cell phone.
Oh, good. That'd be a big help.
Okay, Kristen, Jim Donelon's assistant is 225.
225. Okay.
342.
342. Okay.
7275. And her name is Kristen.
Okay, so that's 225-342-7275.
Right. Now, I think it was that's Kristen's number, who is his assistant, and he does a wonderful job.
Yeah, I'm sure she can help me with this.
And also, too.
Yeah, I just told my sons, I have 2 sons, and I said, I'm going to pursue this. It just aggravates me.
I have another idea. If you want to pursue it yourself without an attorney, get your son to help you. What parish are you in?
I'm in Jefferson.
Well, you could file something in small claims court.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
What is the method for doing that?
You go to the 6th floor of the Elmwood building, have your son help you.
I'm sorry, I didn't get what you said.
The 6th floor of the Elmwood.
6th floor of Elmwood. Okay, Elmwood. I know where that is. Okay.
And then justice of the peace, and you can fill out a claim against the company that assumed the insurance policy. Get your son to help you, so you can do that.
I didn't even know about that, and I would not have given it a thought. Yeah. But that is another way to pursue it. Now, what is the amount of money that I would have to put out for something like this?
$60 or $100, I think.
Oh, okay. I think I probably can afford that. I just can't see a company getting by with this. It's just, they know that I'm elderly, and they just feel like they can put it all over elderly people.
Oh, but they don't know they're messing with the wrong person, right?
Yes, absolutely. They're not going to mess around with me.
Can I ask you another question? This is a personal question.
Sure.
You were married 64 years.
Yes.
Now, if they had young people listening to this, what would be your advice on staying married for 64 years?
What's the secret?
What's the secret? Yeah.
We both are Christians. We both believe in God and Jesus Christ, and we believed in staying together through thick or thin. And we both loved each other, and I miss him every day.
Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry.
I do.
And I'm sorry you have to go through this, after your loss. In fact, you know what? Why don't you do this? Why don't you call my office on Tuesday and ask for Albert? And we won't charge you a thing. We'll send a letter and make a demand on the insurance company to make the payment or be subject to penalties, attorney's fees.
Very nice of you. What is the number that I would call?
504-837.
Okay.
837. 13.
Okay.
837-1304.
All right.
Ask for Albert, and we'll send a letter on your behalf.
Now, will you
All
indulge
right,
me?
I didn't get the whole number. 837-1304.
Yes, ma'am. 504.
Wait a minute, I still got 504. Yeah, I understand
Yes.
that area code. But the number itself is 837-1304.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, and let me. Can you indulge me for one more question? Just one more. Where did you and your husband meet?
We met. I was going out with his brother, and he came home from the Navy on leave, and we went out double dating. And then I still was friends with his brother, but I was going out with somebody else at the time. And we met, and going down the street, I was out with somebody else during Mardi Gras time, and he had come home from the Navy, and he was a bunch of people, and he saw me, and that night he called me, and he wanted to know if he could take me out. And I said, well, sure. And we just went out from there, but just meeting him through his brother, whom I dated.
Now, when you saw him, was he in uniform?
No. Well, yeah, the time he had been in uniform because he had come home on leave. I was going out with his brother at the time, and he went out with another girl, and we just double dated.
Gotcha. All right.
Time when but the second time was after he had gotten out of the Navy. He spent 4 years in the Navy.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're very sorry for your loss. Call
And
Albert.
thank you for the call. Yeah, give us a call on Tuesday. We'll be off on Monday. But give us a call on Tuesday. Ask for Albert. And I'll.
Okay, bye-bye. I appreciate all the information that y'all
Yes,
gave.
ma'am. Get all your paperwork together.
All right, Sylvia. Thanks for the call.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Great history.
Yes.
God bless Sylvia. God bless her husband. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you weekend lawyers. All things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Odyssey is the best way to power your day, giving you so many ways to stay connected to all the audio.
Okay, I have Leon holding from the North Shore, and he has a family problem.
Like Roku and Chromecast. And you can ask Alexa or Google to play your station hands-free. Listen in your car with the Waze app, Apple CarPlay, and more to stay connected on the go. Get your favorites on AUDACY. Discover a universe of audio everywhere. Odyssey.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and worn out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, the timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252.
Protect yourself from misinformation about COVID-19 vaccines and more with HealthGuard, a free browser extension that tells you if a site is reliable as you browse online health information. Download HealthGuard on any browser in one click at newsguardtech.com/vaxfax.
Everybody at Nash AC and Heating wants you to know they're still on a job keeping you and your home cool and comfortable. At Nash AC and Heating, they make sure that when they visit your home, they take every possible precaution to assure the safety of you and the technicians. Ask them about the new air purification systems that take up to 99% of the mold, dust, and viruses out of the air that you and your family breathe. Nash AC and Heating. Give them a call today. Make sure your AC system is something you just don't have to worry about. 504-835-4440.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. They helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hey, New Orleans, we want your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Albert Nicaud, Doug Sunseri. I believe we have a caller on the line. Hello, Doug. Can you bring up that caller?
Yes, his name is Leon.
Leon, how are you?
Hey, Doug, I'm doing fine. How y'all doing?
Good, good. You got Albert right now. So what's going on, Leon? What's your question?
Back.
Yeah, Doug just snuck back in. I guess he had a little restroom break. What's going on with you, Leon?
He just dropped off.
Leon, call back. Call back. We lines are pretty open. We got one or two callers on. Who's our next caller, Doug?
Who do we got?
We're clear.
We're clear.
Oh, it is clear. I thought we had two. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for pitching, Albert. I was.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Hey, the older we get, you know. You got to sneak off to the restroom a few more times, right?
At 58, man. I thought we had a 3.5 minute break, but
Hey, I'll be 60 next Saturday.
Really?
Yes, I will. The big 6-0. And you know, it's funny. I've never really been affected by milestone birthdays, but 60 just sounds older for some reason. And you know, for those over 60, I'm sure you're going to tell me no big deal. And I'm not affected by it. It's just kind of a take a little stock and inventory thing. And I honestly see how blessed I am and how blessed I've been over the years. God has been very good to me. Great family, great friends, great career. It's a great city I live in. Just all, all good.
Well, we, let's see, 60 years old. You were born in
61.
I got Leon back on.
61. So you were born right after the Eisenhower administration.
Yeah, as a matter of fact. Right before Kennedy was elected.
That's right. So there you go. We didn't talk sports yet.
Well, hang on. I've got Leon's back. Leon's back on. Yeah, let's
Okay, let's go. Leon, you back?
Yes,
doing all
sir.
things. What you got for us, brother?
We got disconnected.
No problem.
Not a problem.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure, like I said, if this can be discussed over the radio or not. But my son's in jail.
Okay.
Okay, and he's been in jail most of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he calls my wife all the time and gets really upset because I'm going to say, extorting her for money. Okay. Whatever he wants, she's going to send it. And she sends it through different people. And I've been trying to put a stop to it, but I can't get nobody at the jail or anybody to intervene with this. It's like they're just letting it happen and get away with it.
Yeah. Well, and again, I don't think anybody in the jail is going to. I don't think anybody in the jail is going to get involved in that type of situation. I think it's if somebody wants to give someone in prison money or whatever they need, that's between as long as it's nothing illegal, they're not going to get involved or so that's something you and your wife are going to have to work out. I don't know the answer to that, but it's something you guys are going to have to work out, and you might have to just sit down and see if you can explain to her that she's enabling him to make bad decisions and do those things because she's financing it.
I tried to do that. That don't work. But I mean, what they're doing is illegal. I don't understand why they're not monitoring these phone calls like they say they are.
Well,
And I even tried talking to the Lord, but I ain't getting nobody.
I mean, it's really, quite frank, it's more of a family dynamics, personal issue on conflicting, I guess, philosophies
Yeah,
of action among
got you.
family members. And, a lot of times, family makers make a decision that we don't like and it's harmful to the other, maybe another family member. But, a lot of times, sometimes, law can intervene, agencies can intervene, but a lot of times they can't. And it has, and it's tough because it has to be worked out internally. And, sometimes there isn't an answer from the outside aside from working it out with that person.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
there's drug rehab facilities and alcohol facilities that are filled up because family members have enabled, their kids, or family members to continue a very bad habit by subsidizing it. And so, so that's a tough problem, and sometimes it may be somewhat unsolvable. All right, Leon, we don't have a lot of good news for you on that one.
Okay, I appreciate y'all time.
All right,
Dan
brother.
and Mary.
Today, and God bless all.
All right, got. There you go. All right, thanks for the call. And we got Dan. We have Dan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I got Dan and Mary. Hey, Dan, you and All Things Legal.
It's the Dan.
Every week I hear you. It's good to hear, Dan.
Listen, I'm having some problems with the parish, the property and maintenance, zoning, and quality of life.
Orleans or Jefferson?
Oh, Jefferson.
Jefferson Parish, okay.
Anyway, I had a fence blow down with that Zoe a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was back in October. And it lay there for maybe 2 or 3, no, not even that long, maybe a day or two. And my son picked it back up, but did not do, a permanent job because we wanted to try to settle with the insurance company on it. And somebody came along and peeped through the fence that was, kind of hanging there. And one of the boards had come loose a little bit. And called the parish and told them I had a lot of junk back there, and rats and mice were running all over the place and this kind of BS. And the lady came out and she peeped. The lady from the maintenance place came out and she peeped through the hole in the fence too and agreed. And then I got the fence put up, brand new fence, 6 feet tall, costing more money than I wanted to spend. So my son got it put up for me. But now they peeping through the new holes and don't like what they see. I mean, how can they peep through the little cracks in the fence and declare that they don't like what they see in my yard? That's, all fenced up now. Nobody should be able to see in it. And I don't have rats and mice in my yard because I have 3 cats. And my cats will, eat the mice and rats. And now they want me to do other things. And I think it's getting to the point of harassment. Why should anything except, noise, odors, me laying out there sunbathing naked,
Oh,
be a
man.
bother to them,
My
I'm
breakfast.
78 years old,
my breakfast just got.
I mean, 87 years old. I get mixed up.
All right. Well, what? Generally, I found code problems are 80% of the time resolvable by dialogue with the inspector, and just having a constructive dialogue. In a way, saying, "Hey, maybe addressing a segment or a portion of their concern, and maybe if you do that, he will not press you on the other aspects of it." So, it's more pragmatic advice is just get on the phone with them and, just sort of be, I'll say reasonable, but just talk with them and say, okay, what's your
You
concern?
know, you guys talked to me several times. I'm a nice guy. By the way, I got in touch with my council person, and man, he has been so helpful on this.
Well, give him a shout out if he's been helpful. Which one is it?
Well, it appears as if I've hit a corner that just can't get around it.
Yeah.
And so I think I'll just be a little more patient.
Yeah.
Like I said, a council guy. But is there any recourse on this to kind of pressure them a little bit to get off your back?
Usually the councilman. I mean, if you have a relationship with the councilman,
we get along good.
Because they'll.
And typically, what they'll do is they will cite you, and regardless of how they saw it, but they'll cite you for whatever it is, and they'll cite to a particular municipal ordinance. And their municipal ordinance, Jefferson Parish's municipal ordinances, are online, so you can go look up that particular ordinance and see what you are specifically in violation of, and then either make that correction or established by photographs or whatever the case may be that you are not in violation. And so, those are two ways of fighting back. If it, to maybe keep it from going any further, or if it does go further, you have your evidence for any type of administrative hearing.
I think I've done everything they asked, but as soon as I do, they add something else. It looks like as soon as you hit the end of the line, they shove you to the back again.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, guys.
All right,
I appreciate it. I just thought that they had something I could put a little pressure on them with.
Yeah.
Aside from Vito Corleone, no, I don't have any advice.
Yeah, right.
You're my cousin, huh?
Yeah, you good. All right.
Thank you, fellas.
Thanks for the
Bye-bye.
call. All right. Anybody else on? We're clear?
With David from River Parish.
Okay, David. David doing all things legal. Hey.
So, lottery question. If I would have to win the lottery,
I
mean, a lot of these, you put your money in one bank, but the bank only insures it for $250,000. Or it shouldn't even matter if I got millions of dollars and put it in one bank. The bank shouldn't go under. Well, what should most people do? They want that much money. I mean, like banks only insure you deposit for $250,000. Would you have to put it in a whole bunch of different banks or what?
Well,
hopefully you would form some sort of entity, and that way the entity can continue on, protect you from liability, and then hopefully you wouldn't just dump it all in a bank. You would have it invested. You would put it into different types of stocks and get a financial advisor, a qualified financial advisor, someone that can help you with that type of money. Certainly you want, again, when you're that wealthy, you want to get a very good CPA firm that can help you with the tax consequences and tax benefits and help you place your money other places besides just throwing it in the bank and maybe getting a 1% return on your money. But yeah, I agree. So I knew a lady who had a decent amount of money back in the day, and back when it was 100,000, and she would go to 4 or 5 banks every time she needed to go make deposits or do whatever, because she was worried that she could lose it all, that it wouldn't be insured by the FDIC if something happened, and she would only get a small amount back. So she spread it out, and but when you have that kind of money, chances are you'll be investing it.
This is not Saturday morning; it is Sunday, but it's probably diversity would be the key.
All right, thank you.
All right,
All right.
brother. Thanks for the call. So it's easy.
That guy's pretty optimistic, right?
He's very, very, very out. Yeah. Well,
he's planning on what to do with his lottery winnings.
Yeah, you got to visualize it.
Look, that's right. I'm all in. Good for him. Good for him. I love the optimism.
All right, well, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers, All Things Legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Back to work, back to traffic.
I can't stand bad traffic.
We can make it easier.
They give me my traffic reports.
Okay, the lines are clear right now.
Because I need to get
are important. Traffic matters to me. From WWL.
Get ready for one amazing offer from Diamonds Direct. Starting this Tuesday, June 1st, for a limited time, you can make any purchase, pay nothing down, and take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing. This is an amazing opportunity to get that engagement ring, that diamond bracelet, that pair of diamond stud earrings. Get Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable price and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Whether you spend $3,000 or $30,000, you can do this. Imagine that $10,000 ring and only paying $167 a month, or that $6,000 pair of earrings at just $100 a month. With this offer, you can afford to go big. How about upgrading her diamond or celebrating your love with all new wedding bands? Don't miss this incredible opportunity. It starts Tuesday, June 1st, only at Diamonds Direct. On approved credit, get details, store hours, and directions now at diamondsdirect.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. I trust J&J to protect my home and family.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 50 years. We shield your home from termites, roaches, ants, mosquitoes, and other pests. J&J Exterminating is Louisiana's largest independently owned pest control company. We know what works in Louisiana's climate. Get the shield.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
I'm former NBA player Don Chaney. For years, I had carpal tunnel syndrome and joint pain. Then I started having heart-related symptoms like fatigue and palpitations. Turns out I had heart failure caused by hereditary transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare, life-threatening disease underdiagnosed in African Americans. If you're African American and over 50 with heart failure experiencing unresolved symptoms, talk to your doctor or visit DonKnowsHisHeart.com.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Rouse's Markets is hiring. Rouse's has full-time, part-time, and flexible schedules, so you can go to school or take care of your family. Your career can be anything you want at Rouse's. Apply in-store or online at www.rouses.com.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking your new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey everyone, it's Demi Lovato. On my new podcast, 4D with Demi Lovato, I share what's on my heart and my mind through conversations with very special guests. We dive into identity, creativity, social movements, and we explore questions about our universe, our communities, and ourselves. Listen and follow 4D with Demi Lovato, a podcast and video presentation of OBB Sound, SB Projects, and Cadence 13. Available now on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the York Winhart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico, you can all legal. I'm a student of history, and I've got this great this day in Louisiana sports history from Bob Remy, and he's got a great book, and he has on May 29th, 1943, the LSU Board of Supervisors paid tribute to the memory of Alex Box. The Louisiana LSU Board of Supervisors voted unanimously on May 29th, 1943, which was yesterday, 78 years ago, to name the baseball field and stadium after Alex Box, a letterman of the 1942 baseball team. Box gave his life in the service of the country on February 19, 1943, at the age of 22, while fighting in North Africa during World War II. 3 months earlier, Lieutenant Box earned the Distinguished Service Cross, the Army's second highest decoration for heroism. And the student newspaper, the Reveille, observed, for the first time in the school's history, the service and memory of a military hero came into such high esteem that a structure on campus was named in his honor. So that happened on Memorial Day back in 1943, 78 years ago. So there you go. That's Alex
Wow.
Box. People always want to know, who's Alex Box? And
Yeah.
we all know what the box is. And so that's it. And, Coach, and I want to talk about Coach Maneri. He's retiring. And one of the great things he did, he was the coach at Notre Dame before that he was a coach at Air Force. And he had a great love for the armed services, especially with his time in Air Force, because he loved coaching the Air Force baseball players. They may not have been as talented, but they were very disciplined, very hard workers, and they were a joy to coach because they overachieved beyond their baseball abilities because of discipline, and all the great things that they teach, as far as being excelling in the military. So, but what he did what he would do in his games, he would honor a veteran at every game. And this year they honored him in the stands, but previously they would bring him onto the field. They would read a little biography of the veteran, and he would make all the players would go and thank him, shake their hands after he was honored. And so I thought that was a nice little thing to that when you would go to LSU baseball games, that you would something, and it would just give a little kudos to the people who allow us to enjoy such the things we love to do every day.
Absolutely.
So kudos to Coach Maneri. Kudos, enjoy his retirement. And
have you heard anything? I know it's kind of short notice, but have you heard anything about who might be his replacement?
Well,
any rumblings?
Well, I think they would like to get Mike Bianco from Ole Miss, but he's settled there. I don't think he's going anywhere. Another candidate is Kevin O'Sullivan, who's at Florida, who beat LSU 4 years ago in the College World Series. I think he will end up using the LSU opening to get a raise in Florida. That's what coaches do. If there's an opening somewhere else, they'll use that to improve their contract. I think there's two candidates. This is just me. Cliff Goodwin, who's at East Carolina. He's built East Carolina they're a mid-major, but they seem to make it to the NCAAs every year. He's finished his 7th year at East Carolina University. They play Tulane every year in the American Athletic Conference. Won the regular season title this year. And he coached with him at Notre Dame, and he's done a great job there. I think the other person, if they could get him, is Tony Vitello, who is the Tennessee coach. Now, he's been there for 4 years. Now, before he went to Tennessee, Tennessee was pretty much irrelevant in baseball. And he's taken them. I think they're playing in the championship today. So I would say those are candidates. I think a long shot would be UNO coach Blake Dean, who's a former player and is now coached at UNO. He would know the Louisiana landscape. I think he would be somewhat a long shot. But I think this year you could see. I think Coach Maneri was saying he had 2 neck surgeries. He had a second one, and he's been in a lot of pain, a lot of difficulty, and I think he felt like he just wasn't pulling the right strings this year, and it seemed like the right time. So, but here's the good part about the retirement is if there's anything, he announced it prior to the selection for the NCAA tournament. LSU's on the bubble, and a retirement of a coach who has 1,500 wins is a good omen, because I think the committee will say, well, let's let Coach have one more round.
So you think that was a good thing?
I think that, not that he I think that
no, but in other words, the timing of it.
Yeah,
you think it's a good thing for LSU's chances?
Yes, I think it improves their chances to get the NCAA tournament because they are in the bubble. Now, the 2 other things that happened that was good this week was Alabama won 2 games, and I was, some concern if Alabama went pretty far into the tournament that they could jump over LSU as maybe number 8. I the 18 that's picked. Well, they won their first 2 games, and they got blown out in their last 2 games. So that was helpful for LSU. So it doesn't look like Alabama will jump them. And also, Georgia beat them in the first game in the SEC tournament. Tuesday, they lost the next 2, so they're not going to jump them. So LSU's 8th in the SEC. I think they'll take 9. And so I don't think they will be jumped by Georgia or Alabama based on the performance in the SEC tournament, even though LSU lost his first game. So therefore, I think they're in, and I think with Coach Minari retiring, that sort of solidifies it. So I think they will be in. I don't know if Louisiana Tech's going to host a regional. If they did, I think they would go to Louisiana Tech. The other possibility, and this is watch this, I think Notre Dame is going to host a regional, and if they do, I would suspect they would consider sending him back, LSU back to Notre Dame, where Minari used to coach, to possibly end his baseball career. So there you go on LSU. But I thought it was interesting about Alex Box, because a lot of times when we went to LSU, we were like, "Who's Alex Box?" And we just knew generally he was a military guy. But you think about that. He's 22 years old, had his whole life ahead of him. He was a letterman at LSU. And then he goes off to war, fights in North Africa, and he dies for our country. And there's been so many people who have done that for us, that we have the freedoms to argue, to state a vision what's best for our country. And again, that they give us the right to, some people the right to hate our country, because if you didn't, most countries won't allow that. So, God bless. God bless. Albert, there was a lot of questions today about drainage. Is there some type of law that where someone cannot do something purposely in order to have drainage run off to your adjacent property? Is there some type?
So there is the civil code. The civil code kind of talks about that whole concept of neighboring properties and the way water naturally wants to go. And so if you again construct any structure, and that would include, I guess, a slab or anything else on your property, and causes the way the water runs off of your property and forces it onto someone else's property. Actually, I got a couple of calls this week, believe it or not, about the same thing. And it had a client come in that he had 4 questions to ask, and that was one of them about drainage and about a neighbor and the neighbors, doing certain things and constructing a shed in the back of their house and having the water now, instead of heading towards the front of the house, now pour into his. So when you live in a city and, you got these new houses going up, the game is to build it up as high as you can build it, to get it above that base flood elevation. And then what happens is now you become higher than the neighboring properties. And so when the water drains from your roof and your grounds, it drains onto the neighbor's property. So, the solution to a lot of that is a chain wall, and usually a fence. And the chain wall will stick up a few inches above the lot grade and be sloped towards the street. And that way the water will drain towards the street and towards the city drainage, and not on the neighboring property. So honestly, I think that's again, if it's a 150 foot deep, 110 foot deep lot, your typical 120 lot or whatever in a urban area, it's not a huge expense to make that happen and make sure that you're not encroaching on your neighbor's property by forcing the water in a different direction.
All right. I think today was like drainage day.
Well, it's like
always get a theme for each show. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, Weekend Lawyers, All Things Legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
This Memorial Day, The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 130 would like to thank our servicemen and women for their service to our country. Here at Local 130, we participate in the Helmets to Hard Hats program and encourage our veterans to apply.
Okay, you're going to have about 5 minutes to fill, maybe just a shade less.
9899 or visit us at 3200 Ridge Lake Drive, Suite 300, Metairie, Louisiana 70002.
Hey, y'all, spring is here, and you're ready to get out and celebrate. Here's what's happening around the state. June 3rd through 5th, Bugs and Bands in Kickapoo. June 4th through 6th, Beaumont in Gaines, and Sicilian Heritage Festival in Independence. June 5th, the Peach Festival in Ruston, and Cajun Country Jam in Gonzales. So make your plans to laissez les bon temps rouler.
This is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Plan your road trip at LouisianaIsATrip.com.
Hi, this is former Sheriff Newell Norman. Getting your vehicle back on the road after an accident can be a pain, but the Ray Brandt Collision Centers make it easy with 6 convenient locations and a lifetime repair warranty. Most new vehicles are equipped with technology like radar, sonar, and more, so use a manufacturer-certified collision center. Tell the insurance company what I would. I'm going to Ray Brandt Collision for my repair. Ray Brandt Collision Centers with 6 convenient locations and a lifetime repair warranty.
Plan the retirement you've always dreamed of. Listen to Your Money Matters Saturday mornings at 7 here on WWL, the news, talk, and sports powerhouse of the Gulf South.
With round-the-clock protection at a great price, your Progressive policy works the way it's supposed to, unlike this unenthusiastic hype man.
Okay, everybody, let's make some noise. Put your hands up. Or not. It's your call. Here we go now. Here we go.
Switch to Progressive today.
It is electric in here.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. May is National Bike Month, so use your bike instead of your car, or for a little bit of exercise. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line. 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. You know, I guess we're talking a lot about drainage issues. And one of the things I want to talk about is when you have issues like that, your city councilman or your parish council person is why they're there. When you have issues regarding quality of life, drainage, noise, and that sort of thing, and nuisances, that's what your councilman's there for. And a lot of times, they're are a great service to you.
Right.
And a lot of times when you have these type of problems, they can't fix what they don't know about. And a lot of times, if they're informed as to certain problems, a lot of times they can address them.
Got Diane from Slidell.
Yeah, and we've got, so the Civil Code Article 655, looked it up during the break, but basically just talks about if your lot, if you live in, let's say, more of a rural area and your lot is below the lot of someone else, and that's how the natural water drains, and doesn't drain that way because of some act of man, you have to accept the water as it drains, but then the person who has the dominant estate can't make it more burdensome by channeling that water to your lot. And so it's basically you can't do things to make your water drain onto someone else's property unless it's doing so. Let's go to Diane.
Yeah, let's go. Hey, Diane, you got about a minute and a half. What
Hey.
you got for us?
Okay, I've got a neighbor. A neighbor has a tree, and on his property, the limbs are overhanging my driveway and house. Can I have those limbs cut?
Albert?
Okay, the simple answer is no. That tree belongs to that neighbor. So in order for you to be able to have that neighbor remove those trees, it has to be.
I'm willing to pay for it myself.
Well, then that's something you need to talk to the neighbor about. And what you're going to have to do is get an arborist over there, because what happens is sometimes if you trim up straight from your fence line, it makes the tree unbalanced, and so it makes it more susceptible to fall in a different direction. So I think if you go talk to the neighbor about it, offer to pay for it, I can't imagine there'd be an issue with it, especially if it's done through an arborist and it's done properly. But no, the simple answer is no. You're not supposed to cut your neighbor's tree down. And if it interferes with your personal enjoyment of the property, you can have them. The courts can make them do it, make them cut it down, or eventually have you do it and force them to pay for it.
And I can't even trim the tree. I don't want to trim some branches over my house.
Well, would he ever notice? That kind of thing. But I would start off with a call to the neighbor next door or whatever, and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. Do you have a problem if I do X, Y, Z? And if you have an email address for that person, just put it in writing and let him confirm it in writing, just in case there's an issue down the road.
All right.
I
appreciate it.
Thank you, Diane.
I was concerned that we might not get a call about a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but when you put out your book, Treatise on Trees, I think we'll have a lot less calls on that because they'll just read your book.
Yeah, it'll be a New York Times bestseller.
That's right. You're in chapter 8, I think, as you said.
Yeah, I think so.
Trees and old meadow. So, unique problems with trees and old meadow, neighbors, and that sort of thing. All right. Well, that's a wrap.
Again, bless all those who lost their lives serving in our military for our freedom. Our prayers are with the families, and our thanks are with those brave heroes.
Yeah, thank you. God bless. Enjoy this great Memorial Day weekend, and we thank the wonderful people who died for our country so we have the freedom to do what we do every day. So we'll see you next week on All Things Legal. Be good and be blessed, and see you next week.
8